Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to actually begin the recording. And Victor, can I get you to just gently close the door a bit? That would be helpful. Thank you. So we have someone. Thank you for being kind. Close it then. Also, will you do me a favor and just lower the lights, if you could, right there on the wall of the bed? That's good. And so I chose for aspiration reading this morning, I chose a poem by John O'Donohue, of course, who is expert in both Greg and I. I'm so glad Greg is here to hear it this morning. He knows this one, called The Blessing. I really enjoy his invitation to the awakened and expanding heart. So I thought someone would read it. I co-opted Joyce for that purpose. Joyce, could you read it and do so a little louder so that Courtney and Cindy can hear too?
May you awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. May you have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. May you receive great encouragement when new frontiers beckon. May you respond to the call of your gift and find the courage to follow its path. May the flames of anger free you from falsity. May the warmth of heart keep your presence aflame, and may anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. May you take time to celebrate the quiet miracle that seeks no attention. May you be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder.
And so taking a relaxed, supported posture, one that you can sustain for a time, beginning to incline the mind towards this precious human body sitting here. Noticing the movement of the breath in the body. And then taking a big in-breath, drawing it in completely, softening the body, and then the big out. We drop that thought. We drop that idea. Let's do another one. Drawing it in, enjoying, holding, and releasing. Settling into being, settling into presence. Arriving just here. This body, this breath. And then remembering the things we love. Remembering the people we love. Remembering the aspirations and intentions for a commitment to this practice. Remembering all those infinite, boundless beings, all those Buddhas, say the Suttas, all those awakened ones who have contributed to your ease, to your happiness, to your well-being. And if we counted them all, we would have to count everyone, both in their skill and their wisdom and inner confusion. We learn from it all. May this practice be of benefit to all beings everywhere without exception, omitting none. May it be of benefit. And so we begin each breath, arriving to this present moment. We begin to notice this body sitting here breathing. And just feeling a sense of the body for a moment as it rises and falls. The breath moving upward and downward. To the left and to the right. Forward and back. This whole body breathing in all directions. No certain way to breathe, no one breath better than another. Watching for the habit to try to grab a breath, hold a breath, force a breath, and just letting this beautiful body breathe, knowing that we're alive. And then I'd like you to rest a light attention in the awareness of the out breath. See if you can notice the beginning of the out breath. The wave, the life, the essence of the out breath in its release and its softening. Let it soften you. And then see if you can touch lightly into the end of the out breath as it glides into the still open space. Of awareness, and rest the mind one breath moment there. Soften into being. Let the out-breath be your guide. Softening the face, the eyes, and the mouth. Releasing the shoulders, the arms, and the hands. Each out-breath an invitation. Softening into this present moment and one's life, right here and now. Good at the beginning, good in the middle, good at the end. Can we smile the inner smile of present moment awareness? As we soften. And if you notice the need to untangle, unknot, to continue the release, this is good news. It knows you're making contact with our habit for contraction, for tension, for holding tightness, worry, and distress. And with each out breath, we're in the practice. We're just saying, can I be here? Just this moment, opening, life as it is. This one breath. And as we're resting in the out breath, I'd like you to just scan the body gently, seeing if you can notice a particular part of the body that's holding a little tension, holding a little distress. Gently scanning the body head to toe, seeing if you notice any place of holding. We can work in the physical body and offer compassion even here. So as we're softening up the body, you'll notice a little knot, a little tightness. And I'd like you to place your attention gently, lovingly there. Maybe you know a particular part of the body that could use your loving attention. And then we're going to continue that softening. We're going to soften around that particular area of the body where you've noticed this tension, this tightness, maybe an imbalance or distress. See if you can soften the whole of the body around that area. Keeping that light and caring attention. And I have a little issue in my left knee, and that's talking to me a bit this morning. So I'm just placing gentle attention there. I'm not looking for it to be different. I'm not trying to transform anything. I'm just seeing if I can be with, bringing this kind and caring attention to the left knee. Softening the upper leg, the lower leg, and the whole of my body around it. Non-reactivity, non-resistance, loving presence. Staying in contact, direct contact with that part of the body in you. And with each out-breath, softening. Tight, hot, tense, prickly, itchy, scratchy. Noticing. Inviting that caring, kind attention. And releasing, relaxing in the out-breath. And then I'd like you to take one of your hands, the director of your attention and healing. Take that hand and place it gently, lovingly on that part of the body. And we know that where the hand goes, so goes attention, and then the invitation for genuine care. You can place it on your heart, you can place it on a part of the body that is inviting this loving attention. And we move from here from the softening into this care, into the invitation for soothing. And we can invite not only the hand, not only our kind attention, we can offer an endearment, a phrase, a heart. We can open the heart to include this area of the body. That might be a visual that might benefit you. We can actually offer a phrase. Dear one, I am here. I am all right now. We can offer a particular blessing. May this knee be well. We can soothe with a gentle motion, a gentle touch, maybe a gentle massage if that's right for you. But feel the effects. Invite your presence and your own loving, kind, compassionate attention. Invite it to this part of the body. Sweetheart, I will not abandon you. This is the practice of soothing, that which we can offer ourselves, and in so doing, expand the boundless heart. And then we breathe into this area and we breathe out, continuing to offer those blessings, that soothing, that care. And feel the effects. Being watchful not to lose contact with the breath, but using the breath itself as an instrument for good, an instrument for healing, a directional for the attention. Offering it as completely as you are able. We can offer phrases of loving kindness, phrases of compassion, the wish for well-being. And then the third instruction is to simply then rest and allow. We allow whatever is there then, given the softening, giving the soothing, being fully present to oneself as we can. We allow whatever arises. There may be change in sensation, change in the quality of mind, change in the capacity of the heart to hold whatever is present here. Loving presence. Just this one breath. Breathing into the tight spot, breathing into the pain, breathing directly in and moving closer to distress in whatever form it might take. And offering the instructions with the breath, softening this body, opening, including, offering soothing, a real genuine act of soothing. It might be a thought, a word, or a deed. May I be well. May I be healed. May I be happy. Offering our own good hearts to ourselves. And then checking in, seeing how we are. And if it feels that for the moment this area is resolved, we might place our hand back in its natural resting place. We may just rest it on the heart itself, staying in contact with this boundless, ever opening, ever expanding heart. Feeding, fueling, and nourishing with each breath. And then if you're feeling able, we might call to mind a distressing moment. We've practiced in the body now. We can expand this, of course, to include emotions, thoughts, circumstances. Call to mind maybe a recent distressing moment. Breathing into the area of the heart or the whole of the body. And with the out breath, softening the body around the truth of this distress. This is a moment of suffering, a moment of difficulty. We can allow it to be true and soften. We then remember this is a part of the human condition. I and others just like me feel this too. This is not me, not mine, not only my distress or pain. This is a part of this being alive. We open the heart to the truth of this. Softening with each out breath. And we soften, of course, not only the body, but the heart. We make it pliable, flexible, porous, open, receptive. We can place our hands then there, right at our own heart center. Breathing into the heart and out from it. Offering whatever soothing we have available. It needs to be real, something you can genuinely offer. Maybe the hand on the heart and staying in contact. Maybe this is the soothing. Maybe it's that endearment. Dear one, I am here. I will not abandon you in this moment of distress. Maybe we offer that loving presence right with the breath, breathing into the heart and holding it in that loving attention. Maybe a gentle rub right here at the sternum, offering care, compassion for one's own struggle, soothing. And then we feel the effects. We don't demand an outcome, not a certain result. We don't look for things to be a different way. We look to open, to hold our life, our body, and our being exactly as we are. However that is right now, this one breath. We allow with kindness, non-judgment, non-reactivity, non-resistance. We use the out-breath to continue to open, soften, soothe, allow. Breathing into the heart, letting it ignite the awakened heart mind, the heart of bodhicitta. And then letting it expand and open to include the whole of the body. And then when you're ready, you can place your hands down, and we rest then in this whole body breath of boundless heart. Breathing in and igniting and inspiring the radiance of that heart, and breathing it out, warming, creating space into the whole of the body and beyond. May I be well. Offering ourselves that blessing, breathing it in. Radiating throughout the body in all directions. May I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May I take joy at my good fortune and the good fortune of others. May I rest in that great, vast, infinite space of equanimity, free. Softening, soothing, allowing on the in-breath and on the out-breath. We offer ourselves the blessing of our own loving presence and become a blessing that is offered and available to others. And smiling, that inner smile. Soften, soothe, allow. Opening the heart wide so that all the world can fit in. May this practice contribute. So be it. You could offer a little stretching now, Courtney, if you were here. I see her doing a kind of little move there. It's good. It's a good idea. Thank you. So compassion practice, soften, soothe, and allow. We began with the body itself. You notice we often don't check in to our own bodies. We don't offer our own bodies care, kindness, presence. And so for me, it's always a beautiful way to begin. And then you notice that we can then go beyond the body, still including it, of course, but then can go to things like distressing emotions, particularly distressing thoughts, and include those as well. So I'm just going to check in with all of you and see how that practice was for you. What did you notice? What observations did you make? Mm-hmm. What if I can't get rid of them? I haven't noticed much success myself in getting rid of anything. I don't know about anybody else, but I haven't been too successful. Momentary, and it almost always for me has brought on the second problem. You know, all of the addictive strategies I've developed to try to keep them away. You know, that caramel corn, that busyness that, like, not that, I'll hang out over here. Which then, we know in the teachings offers, it creates often a second problem, often larger than the one we began with, but the one we resisted. Because then that is so easy for that to become a default strategy. And then instead of look at our grief, our pain, our confusion, our ill will, we eat a lot of caramel corn. And doesn't really get rid of anything. I guess in a moment, right? For a moment, we can focus on X and not Y. It kind of works. We can seek pleasure for a moment there. But I haven't ever noticed that it's particularly worth it. In the long run, actually often making more trouble. I've noticed. Anybody else notice this? A little more trouble than you even... It doesn't mean, though, that we don't get to take moments of rest, moments of refuge, moments where we, with intention and mindfulness, with compassion and care for ourselves, say, not right now. And we, on purpose, say, I'm going to place this here because it's not best timing. It's not most skillful. There's even something maybe more calling our attention or the need for our care, right? To say, not right this moment. But that can easily become a habit as well. So that we keep placing ourselves aside and actually never get there, do we? We never get back to attend. It's we just have to be watchful. And with our mindfulness, I have to say, I think it's more likely if we can do so consciously, not right this moment, I'm going to place this in the safety box, knowing it will be there. Actually, even for me, I have to tell you, I'll give you my practice. I have to set a time and place to return. Otherwise, I have a tendency not to. What's going on? So later, I'll create space and time for this, and then I'm going to do that. We do that with our practice as well, don't we? Like, oh, oops, I normally do it here, but it's not going to work here. And so you don't just go, well, let's just see where it shows up. We intention. This is important. This is a commitment I have. This is something I offer myself. I'm going to come back to this here. I'm going to do it at 3 o'clock. I'm going to do it after dinner. Whenever we do that, tagging to a future moment brings our intention with us. Isn't that lovely? Like, no, I'm not letting. I'm going to come back to it. So we can place whatever we need, can't we? Aside for a moment, understanding that it will require our presence, our care, and attention at some later point. And I like to name that point. I think it's a little bit more skillful. It's like that friend that just goes, let's do lunch. Right. I was just talking with my, 27-year-old son, Tanner, about this. He was at his grandmother's. He's gotten his own apartment for the first time. It's very exciting. He's up there now. And I said, your grandmother cared for you in an amazing way. Really, she was unbelievable with him for over 6 weeks. Have you thought about the way you want to acknowledge, let her know that mattered, that was important to you, valuable to you? And he said, no, I hadn't thought about it. I said, it's a possibility to think about that. And he said, yeah, I'll take her to lunch sometime. I'll take her to lunch sometime. Well, wonderful. A, it would be good for her to know that. A, that you cared. B, that you noticed. C, that you have that intention. And then it would be even better if you set a date. It would even mean more to actually begin the action by making the commitment. Like, let's put it here. And so my mother called me yesterday saying, did you talk to Tanner? Why? She says, well, we're going to the Texas Roadhouse on Saturday. Isn't that lovely? Right. How easy is it, isn't it? With the right intention, just not manifest, not to make it real. It's very easy, isn't it? And we begin that really with ourselves, don't we? It isn't even that we're doing it to others. We do it to ourselves by going, yes, this is important. Yes, I need to place attention here. Later, another day and moment, no problem. We just don't come back until what? So it grows. And now that is this, right? What we don't look at, that's like mushrooms. Grows in the dark, gets bigger. And then what? The habit tendencies to go, oh my God, this is what I was guessing. It's even worse. And then we what? Shut down, collapse, run the other way, or get busy again. And so where do you notice this? Where do you notice this non-attention? Where do you notice the tendencies to shut down, turn away, and not come back? It's not very friendly, we at the least, right?
Feelings of disruption, and as you contemplate, it's like, well, not really. Obviously, the positive conditions, but there's nothing for me to come back to, in a sense. And it was
There.
now. It'll be, the next time, it maybe presents itself, or just
Might not.
similar situation, it might not. And so, as opposed to saying, I need to go back and go deeper on this, look at feeling inside it, benefit cause more pain.
Mm. Well, if the pain is there,
Well, the purpose of the deeper would obviously
attend,
benefit, but
attend.
as opposed to like you said, recognizing, this is the time. So
Right.
there's no reason if I drill down now, it may not be a benefit. And in further conversation, if I really wasn't able to drill down on things, what will change by the time the next opportunity comes up? It will have something different.
All of that's possible. It's how we know it. And so one of the ways that I know how things are with others and myself is to bring attention there first, right? So I check in, how am I? And then I also open that attention to include, particularly if it's in relationship to another, and I use my own resource. And then I also inquire, because there may be something there I can't see now, because it looks okay from here. Busyness looks like busy. Right, doing something else looks like doing something else, but it doesn't always perfectly reflect the inner experience, does it? So I used my husband yesterday. He over the weekend he was feeling a little distressed about caring for his father. That's a big job, isn't it? It's a big job. Well, he got on with his job, didn't he? He went and did the care he does and do the things he does. And yesterday, I have to say, it looked completely normal. And I was curious, like, what happened with that pain? What happened with that vulnerability? And so I first used my attention. What can I sense? Looks okay from here. I know something though. I know the care is continuing, right? And then I checked with him. Oh yeah, doing tile, blah, blah, blah. And I decided to inquire. And I said, I just want to check in on that. I heard you yesterday when you were saying that this is hard and overwhelming. And he said, it is. It's still there. Thank you. And, right, I'm holding it. I didn't use quite that word, but I'm being with it. Right, it's here. I'm still attending care. Thank you, he said, for holding me. Because I was. He wouldn't have known, would he? because I'm busy too. You're busy too. I wanted him to know I am still holding you in attention. I'm still holding you with my care and genuine interest. There's no fixing. You're right. It doesn't mean I'm gonna, right? I don't have a particular solution. That's not the point of our practice, is it? That's not our job. Our job is presence. Can I, with attention, let you know that I too am here? I'm here. That's it. And I don't know how that gets worse. How could it be worse? Couldn't be. And then you want to talk about it or you don't want to talk about it. It's not a problem. You say, I've still got stuff to do. I don't want to think about this more right now. It's not right. There's no drilling down. There's being with. Isn't there? And that benefit is infinite from my point of view. Fixing nothing, changing, well, whatever's changing, but holding it really with two hearts. Right. With two hearts. Doesn't it matter? It matters to me when I know that someone's there, present. Yes, I don't enjoy it when somebody goes, we've got to talk about this. You've got to, I'm not sure that's care. That might be something about one's own need, one's own craving for resolution or, right? We've got to talk about this now. Do you want to know how many times I've said that?
What about when you're the recipient of we need to talk about this now, we need to do this, I need to have this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's the part where it's like, you know, I can't fully engage because I don't have the understanding of what her particular need might be, other than she's completely stressed. And
you knew that, and you could open to that. Wow, you know, I'm sensing your pain about this. I'm sensing, right? This is the soothing part, right? First we soften, open up something, and then we like, wow, I want to hear about that. I want to hear your distress. Really, I don't know what we're going to do or not do. We get into logistics and demands and all that stuff. I don't know how helpful that is, but I would want someone to know I'm really aware of the reality of your pain and distress right now, and I'm here. What was the soothing? Dear one, I am present. I'm here. I'm available. Well, you need to, and then you got to stop it, and then wow, you know, I'm really seeing you want a solution for this. You're really looking for, and
so
yeah,
you can actually have equal discretion as to everything.
Yeah.
In my impression, it's not fucked.
Yeah, I would never bring my view to that party. Would you? Who needs another view? Right. It would not. It would, because what now? I'm drowning right now. I'm drowning right now. Later, fucking no. Later, I'm drowning. I'm here. I'm here. I'm going to hold you. I don't have an answer. I don't have a solution. I'm here. I can be here. I can hold your hand or look in your eyes. I can feel for you and the suffering you're in. I don't know a better lifeline than that one. And I don't care what you come up with then.
Quite catch the little insinuation part of it. All of a sudden, it's revved up to just like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. You can just say things like, I'm still here. I'm listening. I hear your distress. What else could you say? What else is there to say? Anyway. Not if you mean it. It's very patronizing if you don't. It's really patronizing if you're going, let me tack this on, see if it works. Like, I'm here. She told me to say that. Really, I am. Honest. Right here. You don't know how not here I actually am? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And you know when somebody's there, don't you? You know. Yeah, and I actually have to say, I noticed that silence can be present. if there's a certain quality to it, right? Can't there? Can be. But you have to know where you are. This is why check in where first? Here. Know how I am. Attend here. If I'm contracted in reactivity, judging, shutting down, it would be better to honor it and say it, which is, I really want to hear you, but I'm noticing. I'm noticing. Wouldn't it? It'd be more honest. And out of that honesty, the more right action. Couldn't it happen? To just go, wow, I'm really noticing my head's still in that Lakers game.
Well, it reminds me of being 2 foot from this rattlesnake on Saturday, and how still I had to be. And I just witnessing him or her looking at me.
We are here together.
Yeah, we are here.
Holding space together.
When you're away, all is well.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember Jane Goodall, those beautiful videos of Jane in the early days? What was she doing? Nothing. Presence. And how long did she sit there? Well, it turned out to be years. And what happened? They included her in their tribe, didn't they? How amazing. They included her. They opened, even, right, without the level of consciousness we have the capacity for. Yeah, and noticing ours is just a useful opportunity for what? The minute we notice monkey mind, we are no longer lost in it. This is its beauty. The minute we notice shutting down, the minute we notice I'm not going to be your solution, the minute we notice I don't really want to be here, there's nothing to say, the minute we go, hey, anything I say right now is just going to be grist for a mill, I don't want to run through, that recognition is critical, because then we can be skillful. What can I offer? Genuine care for your distress. However we do it then. But you'd have to feel it first, which means sometimes we have to manage our own distress, right? First. And don't we get to? Yes, please do. It'd be the beautiful path to true happiness and freedom, is be to notice, really get over here. Get over here. I talk about this sometimes. I was an educational advocate among my infinite roles and jobs in life. This was involuntary. I didn't choose that. I had a son with educational needs, right? There you go. You get a skill you didn't know you needed. And so I start offering this to other people because I'm at least able to be in the room. And I'm looking at a table in Carlsbad one day, and the table is literally vibrating. And I'm sure we're having an earthquake. And so I'm looking at the table, and I realize my own belly is up against the table, and I'm vibrating. That was actually me. That's how separate in the task positive network I was. I didn't even know my own distress. The minute I recognized it, I gave the signal and said, I need a few minutes, right? I need a few minutes. The Carlsbad educational director said, we don't have time for that. What? You're serious? We already know, we have an hour for this major. I'm kidding. I need 5 minutes. I need 5 minutes. And I took it, by the way, and came back, and guess what actually happened? It is not always true, but it was. We resolved the issue. But we don't get to, right, go, oh, then if you just do this, it all works out, and then it's not true. But while I was out there breathing, with the Carlsbad psychologist. And he and I, together, while we were breathing, went, let's not do this. This is going to cause, right, immeasurable harm. Let's at least go in together and say, we need to provide, we've got to find a way to offer something. We can't do the nothing. And there it was. But like I said, we don't get to say, and then it all works out in the way we most wanted. I don't want us to believe this is magical. I can tell you, it will be better with you present. Won't it? Isn't it true? It will be better with you present than it would ever be without you. The question is, how do you know whether you're present or not? If you're swimming in believed thoughts about how it's supposed to go, how it's got to be, how the other's got to be, how you've got to be, you are likely not really there. You're likely lost in some storyline, right? And actually likely by accident, even without intent, to cause some additional harm, right? Because somebody's looking at you and they can tell you're off in some narrative about something. Can't you tell? We're really, those mirror neurons, man. They're amazing. You can go, you're nowhere in the room. You're not even in the county. You're on a fishing trip somewhere in Canada. Right? Can you get back here? How can we do it? Well, we can check into our own bodies and actually begin by softening. Just knowing where the contracted, tight, where the reactivity is actually alive. In our own bodies, the first foundation of mindfulness, how beautiful. And then we can begin to soothe. What do I need right now in order to be here? Well, we can offer something, some lifeline in this practice. Begin with ourselves. What do I need so that I can be in the room? I need to give up all ideas about how it's going to go. I need to give up the idea that it's going to get fixed. I need to give up the idea that you're going to be a certain way or that I am. Right? This is that letting go practice. And in the breath itself, in that released out breath, what are we doing? We keep doing it. Ideas like this, idea, right? Softening that body, soothing whatever needs to be soothed. We get to bring our own hands, our own healing energies, our own presence to ourselves. And then we simply allow and abide. Yeah, you're waiting for the other conditions, right? But here we are, radiant, infinite, right here. Can offer it to ourselves, and really, from my point of view, I know there's a little debate about this at times. I think then in greater magnitude, in greater force, with greater wholeness, we can offer it to others.
I may have to do this, 1,000 times, but if I can notice my suffering and their suffering, it will open.
The first noble truth. Can we know the truth of suffering? And then can we move closer and open to see its causes? And then when you see its causes, what can you do? Not do them. You cannot contribute that autopilot, that gotta be, that clinging. And you are no longer as ignorant, are you, as you were before you dropped in and looked. I have a little fun practice. I do a thing where no matter if I'm in a moment of distress, I assume that others in the room know it, feel it too. I just begin there. So I say, if I'm in distress, I have to trust that the possibility is that you are as well, right? I just start there because I believe we're interconnected in this way. I believe my distress becomes yours. I believe your distress is also mine. That's my experience. And so once I do that, really, again, it opens a little space and room for holding everybody. As Mike said, I don't know what to do with this. I'm afraid to go near the hole because everybody's going to fall in. I'm guessing everybody's just like that. And I can begin there. Let me hold everybody who's afraid of falling in the hole they can't get out of. right? That's that, just like me. Practice, just like you. And if it's true in the other, I do the same. If you're enraged, I assume the same. What about the rage in me? What about the not wanting in me? What about the, I'd rather be dead than deal with this in me? Just opening. So I love the soften, soothe, allow practice, don't you? Really, isn't it useful? Because it really is, for me, not only mindfulness, but the beauty of the willingness to be present and open.
I think that's probably the trouble, you know. Took this gun and killed all those people in the because no way out.
The pain, suffering, and stuckness we feel without attention will manifest. It will. And we cannot separate ourselves from it, can we? We cannot go, not me, not me. You have felt alone. You have felt no way out. You have felt that it'd be better if everybody was dead. And I don't mean that as a crystallized thought. I mean it as a perception, this feeling of complete despair.
Instruction to identify an area of stress and it offers blessing.
Yeah.
My blessing was 3 weeks you're going to be released from the sorrow.
Yeah.
And it won't be there anymore.
Yeah.
But then I thought, that doesn't mean anything.
It'll change something. And, you know, you're doing it with what? The intention for healing or greater health. You wouldn't bother, I couldn't imagine otherwise. And the truth is, we don't know. We do it with that genuine wish. No, I don't know. I like genuine wishes for our ease, for our happiness. It opens us in some way. And the truth is, yes, then we let go of outcome. Because you don't know. Do you? We don't know if we're making it out to the parking lot, actually, do we? It'd be a lie. But it doesn't mean that we don't have the genuine wish. That's right. That's right. That's right. Right. So really, and those wishes are, I think, the wish is not a wish alone. What is it? It is that genuine aspiration. And then we open to how can I contribute? How can I be a part? How can I support those conditions for happiness, for ease, for freedom and well-being? What can I do? Well, I can have well-being myself. That would be a way. I could recognize the well-being in others and be joyful at their good fortune. I can see the truth of suffering in me and feel for myself. I can see the truth of suffering in you and feel for you and us all. Right? These are the practices. And it requires this same presence, this same opening, this same staying and abiding. We cannot heal that which we are not willing to touch, can we? It's why the beauty of the hand. Get there, offer it, rub it, kiss it, hug it, whatever. It matters, right? The healing power of our own presence and attention right through the hand. So what gets in the way? We'll talk about hindrances since we have a minute. What gets in the way? Everybody's going, of course. Absolutely. It's what we should, right. What's in the way? Yeah. 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 That's right. It requires a really kind of a dramatic fearlessness, doesn't it? Like, turn into that? Mike said, really? Go there? In the dark, black, unknown hole of this could go bad and maybe they won't get it and right? Like, really? Yes. Actually, you're not totally there, is what it actually means. Because if you're in task positive network, by the way, you cannot be fully present yet. From presence, we can go then into, right, skillful action, skillful means. But to start there clutters the mind and closes the heart. Because task positive network, left alone, doesn't have a heart chord. It just has a do chord, accomplish chord, get the result chord. And we need to open what? The whole mind, body, being first. So that means, and I used to, I have to say, I'm telling all my fabulous faults. I used to, in therapy, as a young therapist, I'd sit there. I didn't hear a word they were saying because I was thinking about my amazing response. Right. I don't know, like I don't have time because really I got to say something. And it got to be amazing because, you know, like you're paying me. So I just got to come up with something. So I could have been anywhere. It wasn't there really at all. And don't we? This is the opening with deep listening. That means really emptiness, putting all thoughts as best one can aside for the truly being there. And yes, it is. I think it requires courage and fearlessness, because what do you know about the dark cave of the present moment? Right? It's true. And what I know that I want to promise you is you are the light. You are the light in it by that presence.
Very scary not to have thoughts when you've been an analyzing, thinking person your whole life. But here's my husband, together for 37 years. I did that practice of emptying my mind, just breathing, being there. He had a big thing come up, never gets angry either. He got angry. Fear, oh my God, I gotta take some changes. And then I breathed for a while, emptied my mind. Really hard to do for me, and found myself putting my hand on his shoulder and yelling at him. First time in 37 years. I've never done that. Who'd ever think that I could do that, and that would be the good thing? But it was the good thing. Mm-hmm. I yelled at him, and his real feelings came up first time in 37 years. They came up. I don't know what it is. Plain, simple. Never got that before. And he just looked at me, stopped for a minute, so he said, "Why are you yelling at me?" And I don't know. I really don't know. I've never done that before.
Wake up!
I don't know what it said.
Doesn't matter.
And we thought about it afterwards. Like, what are you saying? What are you doing?
Yeah. Trust it. Trust it. Trust it. Trust whatever comes from being present. Rageful Buddha, crazy wisdom, I don't know. And actually, I know that sometimes it's exactly the right thing. And it's like what was said is not even really the point. It's wake up. Wake up to this moment. Wake up to your life. Wake up.
It's as if there's a channel or intuitiveness that you sort of magically, or it's plugged in.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it beautiful? And it's larger than your habits. So it might look a little unfamiliar, mightn't it? It's not habit-based. It's not, and then we nod and try to back up. Get out of the room. You know, like really moving in. And isn't it true that sometimes we got to say, knock it off. This is not helping you. This is not skillful, and without judgment. This isn't because we're judging or it's not out of ill will. It's out of the genuine care for the other, right? We do this often. We say, no, I can't help you with that. That's going to cause harm. And we say no, and you know, to what? Things that are not of benefit, that contribute to harm. We do. Say no. No to ourselves, lovingly. No to others. I don't know if you remember the story. I've told it before. I think it was Solyal Rinpoche, but I'm not sure. But they were walking through a village as a entourage, and Solyal was, I think it was him, walking, and he was walking with his monks, and a rabid dog. Have you ever heard this, Andy? A rabid dog actually begins to come into the territory where they are, and actually is frothing and growling, and is now looking for a victim. Essentially is moving towards, and the monks in their panic tighten and start to back up. And as they're going back, the dog's getting more and more crazy and aggressive. And Solyal starts growling and begins to scream a kind of amazing, and runs straight at the dog in this kind of rah, lion breath kind of way. And of course the dog goes, I don't know, right? And they create enough space to, you know, get their solution. All of them sort of going, I don't know. I don't know about the running in. Well, what was clearly true was that the drawing back wasn't at that moment, given those conditions, skillful. We cannot say, though, that always running into the fire is a good idea, can we? It would not be true. It would be based on what? Causes and conditions in the present moment known only by what? Mindful presence. And so I'm not saying it's not a great idea to go out of here. Let's just keep taking that step back. I can't say it to Mike either, can I? I'm not going to say to him that was the wrong. I'm going to say, in your presence, in your availability, in your being there, I trust what will come. But I think our training is the willingness to move in, breathe, and open first. I think our habits often win, don't they? The habit for fixing, the habit for just collapsing, the habit for always attacking. We have to be watchful of those, because none of them are 100%, are they? No one action without presence, without genuine care, can be skillful. And so I don't know. I do trust it, though. And I would suggest in your training that you get present for a couple breaths, maybe like 3, and if you've really got the room, maybe 10. And like in my case, since Carlsbad School District, 5 minutes. Right, I needed it. I was doing nothing but spinning and couldn't see the way from there, and would have, without the recognition, I would have caused harm. And then no one would benefit. Not me, not the child, not the district either. So let's risk it. It's beautiful work, this being present. And really whole presence, meaning begin to offer as best you can. And can't we offer even to ourselves, may I recognize my resistance? May I recognize my not wanting to be here? May I recognize me wanting any other condition than the one I'm currently in? This is not the problem. This can be a part of the way, can it? Let me just acknowledge. This is, remember, that's one of the first acts of compassion, acknowledging the truth of difficulty, acknowledging the truth of suffering. We don't try to get out of it. We go, it's right here. Confused like this. Don't know like this. Wanted something else. Didn't want this. Not as the storyline, but as a moment of awareness. And then we can what? In that moment, we can now what? Respond. This away or that away, who's to say, but the moment. Right? Lovely. Can we sit together for a moment?